Have you ever felt like you're spinning your wheels and what you're communicating, but the other side's not hearing you? Especially in business, in real estate, if you're working with clients, any kind of business, right? Communication is one of those things that you'd think should be simple if we're both speaking the same language, but it's crazy. Even though you're speaking the same language, you're not saying the same thing sometimes, because it's not about what you're saying, it's about what the other side's hearing from you. It's so important to understand that there are a lot of barriers because of personality types and communication types that may keep you from being super successful in business, and you may not even be aware of it. So today we're going to talk about if you want stronger relationships, better business results, and deeper connections in life, this video is going to be for you. I'm Alicia Soy-Cow with The Empowered Woman. I'm a real estate coach. I sell real estate with clients for buyers and sellers in the Richmond, Virginia market. And I'm a mom and a wife, and I do all of the things. And now I'm a YouTuber. So I'm here to actually share with you DISC. DISC stands for D dominant, I influential, S steady, and C for communication. DISC is one of those personality tests that a lot of people use in business and in life, and if you can understand how to make it work for you, it can be super powerful. So let me just tell you, most people misunderstand people in general, right? I think you see someone else coming that's different from you, you're going to instantly have a bias about how they are. Oh, they're just being difficult, or they're just too emotional, or they're just too nerdy, or they're just too caught up and rigid. I hear kind of a little bit about everything, but why understanding personalities in business is so essential is because everyone's so different. We're all like little snowflakes, right? We're all different in how we're composed in our makeup of who we are as people. It's going to really help you in life, in business, and in leadership. A lot of times when we do interviews and coaching, we use DISC to help us understand where the coaching client's coming from. Just like I have my clients look at their DISC when they're hiring other agents or hiring admin support staff, because there's definitely personality types that lean towards working really well in sales versus support and managing or doing things that are more creative. So understanding what your strengths are going to really help you with that. Miscommunication, not understanding what their personality types are, is a lot of like why we have fractured relationships and missed opportunities in life. If you think about it, it's really simple. And sometimes we complicate things. I don't know why we do that as humans, but we just do. And so I'm going to break down these personality types we talked about DISC and identify the communication barriers and maybe give you a little bit of insight on how you can change and maybe you can be flexible to help you win more in real estate business or just regular business or in life and your relationships going forward. Doesn't that sound great? And I'm going to talk about this. When you think about personality differences, why we must misunderstand people is we're viewing them the way we want to communicate, what we're going through from our circumstance, our frame of reference. When you can get into someone else's frame of mind or reference, or what they say empathy is putting your feet in their shoes, you can get so much more done with clients in business and life. And so the key to that is understanding all the different personality types. And some people are a mixture of different things. They're not just all one way. We're very complex people. And it's a lot of times how you were raised, how you're brought up, how your parents were, sometimes your dynamic things that you had to do maybe to exist in this world were quite created from your personality. So we talked about the DISC dominant, which is direct, results oriented. They're like a driver. They're super competitive. I'm a high D. I'm a driver. I get things done. I want to go from A to B fast as I can. And if you think about driving in a car, a D would be the driver. And I is influential. They're the fun person. They're the life of the party. They make the jokes. They're social, enthusiastic, energetic. They're very magnetic. That's the person that's going to be sitting in the back seat, cracking the jokes in a car if you were in a car trip. S is that steady support person, right? They're loyal, dependable, they're patient. My husband is a high S. They're the one that's there in the car, probably sitting in the back next to the high I with the tissues and the snacks and making sure everyone's comfortable and doing okay in that car trip. Does anyone need to stop to eat? Is everybody okay? Does anyone need to use the bathroom? That's that person in the car. And then the high C, the DISC, is conscientious, or I call them my critical thinkers, right? That's your detail-oriented, your analysts, your CPAs, your engineers, your super cautious. They're the ones that are going to be managing up front next to the driver, how fast you're going, what the fuel mileage is, do we need to stop for gas, what's the fastest way to go, how do we avoid the traffic things. They're the ones that are crunching all the data all the time, okay? So think about it. So if you're frustrated and you're a high D and you're trying to communicate with someone super cautious and data-oriented, you can see how that's going to butt heads, right? They're just two opposites. And if one side doesn't understand what the other side's going, the high C is going to think, why is this guy pushing me? Why is this guy rushing me? And high D is going to be like, what is taking this guy so long? Why does he need to crunch every single number? So it's a lot of miscommunication because they're not coming from where the other person is at. So that's the biggest piece there. So one of the things I want you to think about at first is recognizing where you are. Just like I said, I know that I'm a high DI. Can you tell? Crazy D, get to the point, but I'm energetic, I'm personable, I love to hang out with people. I'm a high I as well. I have some S because I'm a mom, but I have very little C. I'm not the most cautious person, and I'm like, go, 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 go. So sometimes I get frustrated with C's. Understanding yourself first, you know where your weaknesses lie and where you need to adapt and get better at to kind of meet that person where they are versus you pulling them to where you're going to be. Every personality type has a strength and a weakness to it. One's not better than the other, they're just different. And one, you can understand that when you start seeing that. And so before you connect with others, kind of start thinking about, is this client someone that wants every single piece of data, every single price per square foot? What are the features? What is the data showing? What is the past sales showing? That's someone, the more information you can give them, just keep giving them information. They're going to love it. They're going to eat it up and they're going to see, oh my gosh, this agent hears what I need and is answering what I need. And here's my language. It might be annoying to you, but the more data you give them, the happier they're going to be. So that's something really, really important to remember. Just be really detail oriented. Give the facts if they're high C. Okay. And that's really important too, is understanding, adapting what you are. So if you're not a dominant person and you're dealing with someone, I always say bullet points. Don't go over the hill, under the bridge to tell them the story. Just say ABC. This is what's going on. This is the issue. These are the solutions. And this is what I think we should do. That's great for a driver. Influential type is enthusiastic and fun. Make it fun. If they see lots of rules and processes and things they have to go through, they're just not going to show up. And you're going to be like, where are these guys? They're just not showing up. So make sure you understand with high eyes, you got to make it fun. Hey, let's go look at this house. It's going to be super fun. Don't you want to do this? We can go grab dinner after. Isn't it fun? That's kind of how I would handle a high I. And then your high S is going to be patient. Just be patient. You're going to want to speak slower to an S. Not that they're slow. They just process slower. They need time to process what they're hearing. My husband's one of them. I can't just spring stuff on him. He likes to think about things and process it and think the pros and cons and see if this is really good for him. And he's really thoughtful about things like that. So you don't need to change who you are. You just need to flex and adapt with who you're talking to communication wise, right? And understand that they're not doing anything to you or trying to be difficult. They're just behaving in their personality trait. And once you can understand that, you don't take things personally. You don't think that someone's attacking you or rushing you or any of those things, or not answering your questions. So that's something to understand. And when you're spotting these personalities, you can think about the car trip to help you spot them. It's easy to assess that. It's, body language is it. A lot of drivers wear a lot of black. High I's wear a lot of color typically. High C's or you think about their job professions too, right? Someone that's super high C, a lot of time they're data analysts, they're IT, they're engineers, they're more quiet, they're more thoughtful. You can kind of figure it out a lot of times what these people are. So answer who they are, come and meet them what they need, and you're going to get so much further in this business, in any relationship. So you can just learn a lot about paying attention and being aware of what your client is behaviors, their language patterns, how they write their emails. Do they write a long email with every single detail? They're probably high C. High SIC. So you're going to want to give them a lot of data. Actively listen. Listen to understand and not just to respond. Really listen. Understand where the person's coming from so you can answer their questions and kind of make them feel seen and heard. Everybody wants to be seen and heard, no matter what personality you are. Put yourself in their shoes, just like that frame of reference. If you can kind of see where they're coming from, even though it may be difficult, it will help you understand their positioning and what's happening. And be curious. I love the whole phrase of just be curious, like how kids ask questions. Ask open questions. Tell me more. I'm curious why. Why is that important to you? I'm curious. I want to help you. So tell me more so I can get you the data that you're interested in if it's a high C. And the best way to make any barrier simple is just listen more than you speak. I know I speak a lot on these videos because it's a talking head video, but I really actively go, ask a question, and if I'm on the phone, I actually cover my mouth because sometimes it's hard to stop. You want to go, oh. So I always say to myself, don't say anything. And if it's quiet and there's a pause, because sometimes the other party might be pausing, take a breath, and they want to say more. So don't rush someone's conversation. Let them finish their thought. And if it's quiet, just say, I just want to make sure that you've completed your thought before I answer. And then say, that's a really good question, or that's a really good thought. Let me think on that and get back to you and be thoughtful. You don't have to respond in that way, in that reactive moment always. So sometimes if you don't know, or you just need some time to gather the information, I always put a pause and let me put a pin on that, and I'll get back with you as soon as possible. And there's some success stories thinking about it. Working with a client that's cold and unengaged, you may think that person's a jerk, or they're just cold. They may not be. They're just super high C. They're super thoughtful and cautious. They're a lot of times more reserved, and they're thinking. While you're talking away and saying stuff and being expressive, they're just thinking and taking everything in. You may think that person is not being very sensitive to you or being thoughtful. They are. They're just super thoughtful, that they are probably 10 steps behind you, especially if you're a high DI. And so if you just get that understanding and give them time to come back at you, you'll see they'll warm up to you and they'll start building that rapport and trust. trust over time. I've seen it happen over and over again. And another type of personality is someone that's struggling with motivation, right? If they're a high I personality and they don't think it's fun and it's a lot of process and checklists to turn in, and oh my God, I got to fill all this paperwork out over again and again and again. And if you could understand that you're there to help them and serve them to get their end goal, hey, imagine when you move into this house, how amazing it's going to be. They got to see that end goal and understanding why they need to do all this work and why it's going to be fun later on. So that's something to understand, and kind of, it's like putting yourself in their shoes. There's two specific examples of potential how you can misinterpret someone's personality if you're only using your own personality to see it. You can see just from having this conversation how if you can adjust yourself and meet them where they are and use frame of reference, you can actually change the course of your business and continue to build that know, like, trust model to get referral business over and over and over, and you can adapt and change. Now, if they're really crazy people, like just rude and crazy people, I don't care how much you adapt, I would say goodbye to those people. I will say that and give you permission on that. So now it's your turn. I'm just curious, what personality do you think you are? A lot of agents are either D or I, or if they're support, they're S, C. What do you think you are? I'm just curious. And if you know what you are, if you've taken the test, what are you? And who do you think you relate to best with, or who do you have the most struggles with? I'm just curious. Comment below. And if you like this content, please hit like and subscribe. Everything they do as the Empowered Woman, Alicia Soikawa, I am trying to help people grow in their business and in life. I'm a middle-aged woman. I'm going to be 50 this year, and I just wanted to invite you along on my journey. So if this is interesting to you, it's all different topics about growing in life and business, and a lot of it's real estate because I happen to be in real estate. I'm here for you, and I'm super excited to get to know you better. And until next time, take care.